and then when the timer calls time, then you are more than welcome to begin your meeting. Okay. Is there any questions?
I think so.
Begin.
Is there any further business that should be presented at this time?
Madam President,
Noah,
I move that our chapter build 5 picnic tables for the city park.
is there a second?
Second.
It's been probably
I object to consideration of the question.
Objection has been called. The question is, shall we consider the motion? All those in favor of considering the motion, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed? Thank you. Be seated. Madam Secretary, please note that's a 4 in the affirmative and 1 in the negative, so motion passes. We will consider the question. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Noah,
I made this motion for the betterment of our chapter. If we were to build 5 picnic tables for the city park, it would be an advantage for the community, and it would be a community service project for our members. Therefore, we should vote this motion up.
Madam President,
Kayla,
I rise in the strong affirmative of this motion. This is a great way for the FFA to get their word out there and really do that community service that is greatly needed for proficiency awards. So I urge the fellow assembly to vote yes.
Madam President,
Morgan,
I cannot offer the support for this motion, seeing as building 5 picnic tables would take a lot of man effort, and our members are already stressed as it is. Seeing as we have finals coming up, as well as our ACTs, we will just not have the time to make this motion happen. Therefore, we must fail it.
Madam President,
Casey, where do you stand?
On the affirmative side, Madam President, as our FFA motto states, living to serve. What a great opportunity to serve our community by building 5 picnic benches for our city park. So stand with me in passing this motion.
Madam President,
Shane,
I implore the fellow members of my assembly to see reason and vote no on this motion to build 5 picnic tables for the city park. It is common knowledge that many people do not go to the park and it is not a very well area. Therefore, our community service could be spent on other activities and be more beneficial. So please help me in voting down this motion.
Madam
Madam President,
Morgan.
I move to refer this motion to a committee of 3 with the power to act.
Second.
It's been probably moved and seconded to refer this to a committee of 3 appointed by the chair with power to act. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Morgan,
we need to refer this motion, seeing as we could gather more information to see if we even have the funds or the resources to build these benches. Therefore, we must refer it.
Madam President,
Kayla,
seeing as we have a quorum right now, our full quorum, we do not need to refer this to a committee. So I urge the assembly to vote down this referral.
Madam President,
Shane,
This is a fairly simple motion and we should not draw it out and delay it when we can decide it now and get it over with and take a proper course of action. So please vote down this motion.
Madam President,
Noah,
I am in agreement with the previous speaker. What we have here is cut and dry, and we simply need to decide here and now if we should build the picnic tables or not.
Madam President,
Casey,
I disagree with the previous speaker, seeing as a committee would provide a great opportunity for us to gather support for this motion and see what members will be available, since our schedules are busy, to go through with this motion. Therefore, that is the reason why I want everyone to stand with me and refer this motion.
Madam President,
Shane,
I'm to take a 5-minute recess.
is there a second?
Second.
It's been probably moved and seconded that we take a 5-minute recess. The privileged motion to recess is not debatable but is amendable. Are there any amendments? Seeing none, we will now vote. All those in favor of taking a 5-minute recess, please say aye.
aye.
All opposed, please say no.
No.
Motion fails. We'll now take a 5-minute recess. Is there any further discussion on the referral?
Madam President,
Noah,
I move to suspend the standing chapter rule that freshmen may not chair a committee.
Second.
it's been probably moved and seconded that we suspend the standing chapter rule that freshmen cannot chair committees. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion passes. We will suspend the standing chapter rule that freshmen cannot chair committees. Is there any further discussion on the referral? Seeing none, we'll now vote. All those in favor of referring this motion to a committee of 3 appointed by the chair with the power to act, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no.
No.
Motion fails. Will not refer to a committee of 3. Is there any further discussion on the main motion?
Madam President,
Casey,
I move to postpone the motion indefinitely.
is there a second?
Second.
It's been probably moved and seconded that we postpone the motion indefinitely. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Casey,
I move to postpone this matter indefinitely because since the previous speakers, I have changed my side. I feel this is an awful motion and it should be killed.
Madam President,
Kayla.
We cannot kill this motion. This is for bettering our country and our world. FFA is about promoting positive leadership and career success. What better way to encourage positive leadership than to go out and lead and show the community what they need to do and what FFA is all about. So we cannot kill this motion.
Madam President,
Morgan.
I am in favor of this postponement, seeing as we just do not have the time in our chapter right now. Therefore, it's no reason we should try to stretch our time, therefore doing a worse job. If we're going to do it, we need to give it 100%, and we just do not have 100% to give right now. Therefore, this postponement should be passed.
Madam President,
Noah.
I urge the Assembly to vote down this postponement. Due to the fact that building picnic tables is a great exercise for our younger members to develop their carpentry skills, and we just need to vote this down.
Madam President,
Casey.
I request permission to withdraw my motion.
The member has asked permission to withdraw their motion. Is there any objections? Seeing none, motion withdrawn. Is there any further discussion on the main motion?
Madam President,
Kayla.
I move to amend the motion by striking out 5 and inserting 3, so that if adopted, it would now read, I move that our chapter build 3 picnic tables for the city park.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been probably moved and seconded to amend the main motion by striking 5 and inserting 3. So if adopted, the motion would then read, I move that our chapter build 3 picnic tables for the city park. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Kayla.
I made this amendment because it is simply more doable for our chapter. We have 50 members, and so they should be able to reasonably put together 3 picnic tables, and that way we would not be depleting all of our funds. So I urge the House to see reason and vote up this motion.
Mr. President,
Shane.
I feel like this amendment would be a good idea based on the facts presented by the previous speaker. It is very doable and would benefit the park and encourage more people to go and visit there. Therefore, please vote yes.
Madam President,
Morgan.
I still cannot find my support for this motion. Changing from 5 benches to 2, or 5 picnic tables to 3 picnic tables does not change the merits of the motion, and therefore we still do not have the time. Therefore, this amendment must be failed.
Madam President,
Casey.
I can finally rise in agreement with this motion. For 3 picnic tables is an optimum number for our chapter. This provides not too much work for younger members and people who are not too busy at these times. And it is once again a great opportunity to serve our community and gain some community service, which is extremely important for those younger members who wish to attain the state degree. So for these reasons, I urge my fellow assembly to vote yes.
Madam President,
Noah.
this is a wise amendment. Seeing as there is already some picnic tables in the park, 3 would be more than enough picnic tables to provide an appropriate amount of seating for the park, and therefore we should vote this amendment up.
Is there any further discussion?
Madam President,
Kayla.
I move previous question.
Previous question has been called. All those in favor of ordering previous question, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed? Thank you. With 5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes. Is there any, we'll now vote on the amendment to strike 5 and insert 3. So the motion would then read, I move that our chapter build 3 picnic tables for the city park. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
Division?
Division has been called. We'll now vote by standing. All those in favor of the amendment, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed? Thank you. With 4 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, motion passes. We will amend the main motion. Is there any further discussion on the main motion?
Madam President,
Kayla.
once more, I urge the fellow assembly to see reason and vote up this motion. This is a great way for our chapter to get community service that they need for their proficiency awards. So please, a yes vote is the only way to go.
Madam President,
Morgan.
I move to postpone this motion definitely to tomorrow at 7:30 in the egg room.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been probably moved and seconded to postpone this motion to 7:30 tomorrow in the egg room. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Morgan.
we should postpone this motion, seeing as we could look into it and see if we have the needed resources or the needed funds to build this bench, as well as if we will have enough member participation in order to make these happen. Please help me in passing this motion.
Madam President,
Kayla, how do you rise?
I rise in the negative of this postponement. Seeing as we do have the member participation, we need to start planning now so that we can have proper prior planning. So I urge the Assembly to vote down this postponement.
Madam President,
Casey.
I rise in the affirmative on this motion. Postponement till tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the egg room is a great time to allow us the time to gather members who would actually be willing to build these benches and get a little bit of awareness out for the rest of our chapter so that they may also have a say in this motion. So help me in passing this postponed.
Madam President.
Shane.
I believe that this motion is a great idea, for it would be unwise to make a quick decision that would potentially prove not very well for our chapter. Therefore, I urge fellow members of my assembly to see reason and vote yes.
Madam
President,
Morgan.
I once again remind the Assembly that this would be a great motion, seeing as we could also find and make sure that we have the correct blueprints in order to make the best benches possible for our community. Therefore, this motion must be passed.
Madam President.
Noah.
This is a wise motion. Seeing as it's still early months, we have plenty of time to prepare and build these benches so that we can enjoy them during the summer months of our year. And therefore, we should vote up this postponement.
Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of postponing this motion to 7:30 tomorrow in the A group, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no.
No.
Motion passes. We'll postpone this motion to 7:30 tomorrow in the A group. Is there any further business that should be presented at this time? Seeing none, meeting adjourned.
For the member who had amend,
Yes, sir.
3 questions for you. First one, what is the rule regarding whether an amendment is debatable?
As long as any motion that the amend is being applied to is debatable, then that amendment is therefore debatable.
Explain your answer to number 1 using a main motion that is to be amended as an example.
Could you repeat the question?
I can. Explain your answer to number 1 using a main motion that is to be amended as an example.
Right. So when you amend a main motion, that main motion is therefore debatable. So your amendment upon the main motion that is debatable is debatable.
Okay. And the third one, give one example of a privileged motion that has been proposed to be amended when the amendment would not be debatable.
A recess's amendment would not be debatable.
Thank you.
All right, to the member who called recess.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what class of motion does the motion recess belong to?
To the privilege motions.
Is the motion debatable?
It is not.
And is it in order when another member has the floor?
It is not.
To the member with postponed definitely.
Right here?
Name 3 subsidiary motions that the motion to postpone to a certain time or definitely yields to.
Can you repeat it, please?
I can. Name 3 subsidiary motions that the motion to postpone to a certain time or definitely yields to.
It yields to lay on the table, postpone indefinitely, and limit or extend rights or limits of debate.
All right, to the member who called for suspend the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what are the rules of order of a society?
Can you repeat the question, please?
What are the rules of order of a society?
That would be the bylaws.
What vote is usually required to suspend these rules?
2/3 majority.
And what vote is required to suspend a standing rule?
Majority.
And to the member with withdraw.
Yes.
Name 3 unamendable privileged motions that the motion to withdraw yields to.
Can you repeat the question, please?
You bet. Name 3 unamendable privileged motions that the motion to withdraw yields to.
Adjourn.
Question of privilege. And call for the orders of the day.
Thank you.
All right, Madam President. Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, lists 6 headings in a standard order of business. Name these headings.
So, can you repeat that question?
Yes. Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, lists 6 headings in a standard order of business. Name them.
Okay, so you open the meeting and then report of officers, report of committees, new business, old business, and adjournment.
All right, we'll now have 2 minutes for some clarifying questions. At this point, anybody can answer these questions.
What is the difference between postpone indefinitely and postpone definitely?
Postpone indefinitely postpones it forever, so like it will never be brought up again. And then postpone definitely can be postponed to a certain time. So like if you want to continue business or you want to move business to another meeting or another time, you can do that way.
And once a motion is postponed indefinitely, it may never be brought forth before a committee or the quorum assembly.
And what are the votes required on those two?
So to postpone indefinitely, they're both a majority vote.
What's the purpose of division?
To clarify a vote.
And to change your vote if you were have a split second indecision. Yes.
Or if you wanted to thought that someone else would change their vote, you can also call division.
Okay. That's all I got. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.